Good morning. Northwest time is 6:52. It's time for your morning sprint.
Kelsey Morgan looking ahead to a court date for a Meade High School teacher.
And Mark Peterson talking about a cool, cloudy weekend ahead.
But first, the man who took over for the murdered owner of the Westview Manor Apartments on the South Hill has made a compromise with his tenants. They said he unfairly raised rents almost $500 with only a 30-day notice. The landlord, George Janoski, has now agreed to give tenants an extra 30 days to decide what to do and reimburse them up to $2,000 if they move.
A pilot killed in a plane crash in Whitman County yesterday was a retired Spokane firefighter. Fire Chief Brian Schaefer told us about that and offered his condolences on Twitter. 64-year-old Ronnie Weston was the only occupant of the ultralight plane when it crashed near the Lower Granite Dam on the Snake River. He was dead by the time the emergency crews arrived.
Spokane police are still trying to find a man who ran from officers last night. They say the driver of this blue Honda Civic was exchanging drugs in the Fred Meyer parking lot off of the Thor Freya exit when he saw police and drove off, almost hitting another driver head on. He ditched the car near 5th and Florida. Canine officers were not able to track him.
The Whitman County GOP is trying to stop a white nationalist from being seated in his new position of precinct committee officer. James Alsop was automatically elected to the post because he ran without a challenger for 5 days. County officials now say they're going through bylaws to see if there is a way to unseat him. Alsop is an alt-right activist who recently said it's important for white nationalists to get into low-level government positions to gain more power.
Look what's going on in the weather, and again, Montana firing up. There's been a few thunder showers that have been firing up through this morning and now tapering off a little bit. We see them fire up again just into the central part. We remain clear. Things look really good for us, and we're going to continue to have that. Our highs today are going to be into the low 80s, mid-80s Moses Lake, and that's going to go westward. Seattle's still going to have a pretty nice day. Increased cloud cover 73, though. So for us, our high 81.
Looking ahead today, the Meade teacher accused of having a sexual relationship with a 17-year-old student will be in court again. 37-year-old Wesley Perez was arrested 2 weeks ago after an anonymous letter tipped administration off to the relationship. This morning, he's expected to ask a judge to lower his bond amount, which is currently set at $100,000. He says his wife wants him out of jail so he can work and avoid paying child care costs for their kids. We'll bring you updates throughout the day.
I am hoping Silverwood lets me maybe stay for the rest of the day to test out these rides because it is gorgeous out and I've been having a blast. Silverwood is going to be opening this Saturday. Boulder Beach, I should say. Silverwood's been open. Boulder Beach Bay is opening this Saturday at 11 a.m. You can ride the rides, the inner tubes, race on Riptide Racer. It's a whole lot of fun. They've got your chairs all set up now. They've got cabanas waiting for you. It's all happening again this Saturday. Welcome summer.
A jury will continue to hear arguments today in the trial of a Chattaroy woman charged with the murder of her young nephew in 2015. Cynthia Khalil called 911 when she found 5-year-old Gary Blanton unresponsive. She told detectives she heard a thud, which she thought was Gary falling out of his brother's crib. Gary died at the hospital the next day. An autopsy revealed significant damage to his brain, skull, and abdomen. His death was deemed a homicide. Yesterday in court, Khalil's defense attorney called the death a tragic accident.
The hearing for Rachel Dolezal, Spokane's controversial former NAACP leader, has been delayed 2 weeks. Dolezal now goes by the name Nkechi Diallo. She's facing fraud charges for allegedly receiving thousands of dollars in welfare she didn't need. She's pleaded not guilty. In court yesterday, her hearing was postponed until June 20th.
2 Sandpoint police officers have been cleared of wrongdoing in a shooting that killed a man back in March. 28-year-old Brandon Kuhlman shot at the officers and wounded both of them. The Kootenai prosecutor has now concluded officers Eric Clark and Mike Hutter responded appropriately.
All right, coming up next on Good Morning America, Samantha Bee back on the air for the first time since she made that offensive remark about President Trump's daughter. The late-night host apologized overnight, saying she crossed the line.
And he has only been in office for about a year and a half, but President Trump has already issued 5 pardons and has signaled that he's not done. Who could be next in line for clemency? Coming up.
All right, outside really looking pretty nice this morning. It's a mild start to the day, and we have no major traffic problems. 81 to start our day, for Thursday. Friday's going to be 78. It's the weekend. We're going to see rain overnight into Saturday morning. We're going to see scattered showers through Sunday, and then better next week. Mild, warms up.
Okay.
All right. GMA starts right now. We're back in about 25 minutes.
We'll see you then.